Okay, so today's been feeling pretty good. Most of the exercises I've been doing. 12 degrees. All right, so here we are, Rich O'Neill, Hunter Story, Elite Functional Performance in Charlotte, North Carolina. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the things that we see with our folks who spend a lot of time in a seated position. We've been noticing a lot of people coming in with a lot of the standard compression in the lower spine, lumbar area, a lot of jammed up hips and things not really working right within the lumbo-pelvic hip complex due to a lot of the stagnant position that comes from having accumulated a lot of time behind a desk or in a vehicle or things like that. So one of the things that we use to remediate this for everybody, and we include it as part of our warm-up or as part of another exercise sequence, is we use our homemade tilt board here. So this is a basic custom piece that was made with a couple butcher blocks and some plywood, 3/4 inch. We've got exact dimensions of this. So what we would typically do would be have Hunter or someone who's got some similar stuff going on get on the board with their feet almost at the widest part. We'll then have him kind of lean onto the bar there. Notice he's maintaining a nice flat spine through here. That's important. Without bending his knees, pushing his booty out and keeping his knees completely straight, he's just going to try and rock his body back and forth without getting too much movement out of the upper back. So if we can keep the upper part of the back fairly quiet here, and then just begin to rotate through the hips, he's going to start to feel the lower part of the spine and sacrum begin to loosen up, also deep into the pelvic complex and into the hip capsule, begins to really also start to loosen up a little bit. I like to play with the foot position. So sometimes when I see some guys presenting with, the externally rotated foot or the short lateral hamstring, I'll have them turn their feet into pigeon toe position, which now internally rotates that hip and starts to bring a little bit more space into the sacrum, as well as changes the angle of the ball and socket position of the hip to give a little bit more of a stretch as he tilts back and forth. The idea here is to make sure that he can maintain that flat spine and not get any bend in the knee. If the knees are bending, then we're limiting the amount of stretch and length that we can pull up through the hamstring into the base of the pelvis. So with this one, we program anywhere from a minimum of 2 minutes, upwards of maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Some people need to really have a good amount of time on that board where they can kind of rock back and forth and feel things loosening up. Other folks really respond very rapidly when they first get on there, rock out for a little bit, and then things seem to let go and we get them moving. But this is something that we found to be very effective for most of our people who have had some stuff in the lower back and through the back of the legs due to being stuck in a seated position for a long time. So be sure to give this a try. If we don't have the access to a board of this nature, what we do is grab one of the half balls. We can just sort of flip that over and going into the same position here. Feet are at the widest part on the half ball, leaning over, and then same thing, just making sure the knees don't bend. And you can rock back and forth on that. So give this a try. Let us know how it works for you, and stay tuned for some more exciting content on how to help your body feel better. Nice job, dude. Very nice.